Hello, welcome to Tarot to a T. Today's reading will be for mid-March 2023 for the sign of Cancer. If I can get this to stand up, I will get started. Okay, there we go. If this is the first time to my channel, Cancer, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. Thank you very much for your support. Glad to see you here. And I just want to mention that I'm going to start doing extended readings through Vimeo. But I don't have time to do all of them. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and like the video if you're interested in seeing that extended. Whoa. Can't do this, but I'll do that one. And whichever sign gets the most likes on their video this time around, you're going to see that extended available, okay? On the next one. Obviously, you'd have to come back to this video to see that extended. But like on the next round of readings, which will be for, beginning of April, you will see an extended available, okay? So that's how it works. At least for now. Whoa! Never had that happen before. It flipped over in the deck. I think it meant to fall on the table, though. You definitely got something going on, Cancer, for mid-March. We're almost through our cards of advice, and we'll just jump right into it. Okay. Oh, forgot to thank all my subscribers and anyone who's donated to my virtual tip jar, which can be found at the bottom of the description box. So let's see what's going on here, Cancer. 9 of Clubs. So you had some kind of completion here you're very satisfied with. It talks across the board. It could be anything, but it could speak in particular about a job or promotion. Whatever the case, it's some kind of achievement. Perhaps it's something you had your eyes on. You set a goal in some way, and anyway, that's come to fruition. Things are up in the air for you, though, with this black and white Joker. I just see that as unsettled energy. Not necessarily around the completion, probably pertaining to something else. This is also the Fool energy. So let's say you got the job or promotion. I see the Fool as literally being kind of in that place of being the fool, not knowing what lies ahead, what's around the corner. You know, we don't have those crystal balls. We don't know where this is going to lead you. Even though you've achieved this, you're like, okay, here we go. But you know, the sky's the limit. Anything could happen, right? It's kind of that kind of energy. So things are kind of unsettled. Perhaps that's how you're feeling internally. Just that, whew, I made it. However, I don't know how it's going to go. The Four of Spades. There is a lot of security and stability here around your home life. The Four of Spades tells me you are in a period of stress, and now you're experiencing some kind of relief from that. Could have been financially, especially, again, if it was a raise or promotion. I'm feeling very strongly, for some reason, that's what we're speaking of today. So I'm just going to go along with that storyline. But it looks like you are in a reprieve from whatever was, you know, troubling you before. 8 of Hearts. And you're going out and celebrating. You're spending time with family and friends. The 8 of Hearts is generally that good time card. You know, not necessarily for any specific reason, just having a lot of social opportunities. It's also, there's the possibility of meeting somebody significant as a result of going out and socializing and mingling and just putting yourself out there. That's exciting, especially if you are looking for romance. Doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It could be someone who becomes significant as a friend or in business, for example. And this little thing keeps going out. That's why I keep messing with it. Let's see if we can get it going again. Well, at least I got a flame this time. That looks very promising. Okay, now that we got some incense burning here, let's go ahead and see what else is going on for you, Cancer, for mid-March 2023. Looks very good so far. Jack of Diamonds. So you could be dealing with a younger earth sign. Virgo, Cancer, or Cancer. No, I meant to say Capricorn. It's another C word, right? Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. If it's not a younger earth sign, this could be you in kind of this, how should I say it, inexperienced energy dealing with some kind of new financial situation, which would very much fall in line with the storyline I was following there. Picking up that there's some kind of raise or promotion that came along, so you have more abundance, you have more money, and perhaps you're just learning how to budget that better, or maybe you've had your eye on, making some purchases that were out of your reach before, and now they're in your reach, so you're just kind of trying to decide which is the best thing to do. So again, looks all very positive, especially in finance. I don't know, I just haven't had a lot of cards out here about finance, but I'm picking up that that's really changed for you, which is fantastic. Now, the Jack of Hearts could be you. This is a water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. I also see the Jack of Hearts as you perhaps just having your heart open to the world, maybe in romance, or maybe just in general. Like, again, along with that full energy of not sure what's headed your way, just not sure what the future holds. It can be a little, for some people can cause anxiety, a little bit of nervousness. I don't necessarily see it that way in your reading because of the Jack of Hearts. You're willing to be vulnerable in that way and just kind of letting the future fold as it may. I don't see you having your defenses up, in that kind of mode. Like, a lot of times we see that when someone's come out of a relationship, they're closed off. They're not ready for that next person to walk into their life. And if they do, they have their guard up and they're very cautious, suspicious about other people's motives, just because they've been burned, if for no other reason. The Six of Clubs tells me you're going through a lot of personal growth here, and there's a lot of options and opportunities presenting themselves to you for that. Now, the personal growth, again, is kind of across the board as far as the cards go. But it could be in any area, financially, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. If I had to take a wild guess, I would say it's probably a little bit mental and a little bit financial for you at the moment. That personal growth and just that new experience of having new wealth, a new source of income, or a higher income coming in. And again, just kind of adjusting to that new lifestyle, which, in all fairness, it can be an adjustment, just as it can be an adjustment when our resources dry up and we suddenly don't have the same amount of money we had before. Both experiences are valid, just different ends of the spectrum. The Queen of Spades. You could be dealing with some kind of authority or somebody who's in power over you, who's an air sign, Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. I also see the Queen of Spades as, if it's you, keeping to yourself. I'm really not seeing that with you, honestly. Especially with that Jack of Hearts. You have your heart open. You're not going to keep things to yourself and be kind of in hermit mode. But if it is some kind of air sign around you, again, this could be like a supervisor, this could be a parent, this could be just like an older sibling. So somebody who you perceive to have some kind of authority in perspective from your position in life, okay? But the thing about them is you're a little bit suspicious of them, or people are in general, because they hold back. They're not, expressing their feelings. They're not really telling you what's up behind the scenes, what they're thinking. Maybe they have an opinion. Maybe they have an opinion about this achievement you've recently made. This could be a spouse. Now, the queens, we're not looking at gender, so it's not necessarily female. This could be a male spouse who's just like, maybe they're jealous. Maybe they're a little envious of this achievement you've come to, if it's in that position. I do see that as an outside person, though. So if you don't know the air sign, maybe you want to do a little snooping and figure out who this could be. Again, that's Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. Any more cards you can tell me about Cancer's situation for mid-March 2023? Five of Spades. Well, you might have just broke off from that air sign. This is the breakup energy. Now, if you haven't broken off a relationship, it can be that you're breaking yourself off from an old lifestyle, especially with this achievement, coming out of this period of stress, and the indication with this Jack of Diamonds, if I could pick it up, that this is a new experience for you, having some kind of wealth, some kind of financial achievement here. But it is the breakup card about, and it denotes some kind of change in in terms of a, sorry, just trying to arrange everything again, in terms of a status. So yes, it could definitely apply to a person, some kind of connection. Maybe you left another job, and that's what that Nine of Clubs is about. It's about achieving that other position. It could, again, I see it kind of tied in with that Queen of Spades. Maybe the other position you left, or the other job situation you left, that person has opinions they're not expressing. Maybe you kind of left on bad terms with them even, because they didn't say a whole lot, and because of that reaction or lack of response, you feel like they're disappointed in you, or, you know, it just depends on the kind of relationship you had. You know, we don't always have deep connections with people we work with, but I think over time they develop. And then when something goes wrong, you have a little bit of a relationship issue, you know, even though if maybe you don't consider them family, you know, on that level, or even some kind of close friend. Let's go ahead and look at your cards of advice. Three of Diamonds. So yeah, here's the being pulled in two different directions, confusion around finance. I would have to say, just generally, I see this when people are not used to having a certain amount of wealth, money at their disposal. It's kind of like you have these desires, let's say, like you've had your eye on a new car. That, you know, that's not everybody's tendency, but I'm just going to use that as an example. And you know, you're doing fine with the car you have, but you have a little bit of pull in that direction to spend some money on that car that's probably a little bit, well, it's out of your price range as far as the past goes, but now you're seeing it as being a possibility. And so you're being kind of pulled in the direction of, do I follow my desire here and my instant gratification, or do I hold back and, you know, use better judgment and just kind of wait? Not necessarily that you can't have that car, it's just that maybe you should wait because you've just achieved this. You know, it may be a little bit too soon to go out and make crazy purchases like that, because you kind of have to get used to, again, with the Jack of Diamonds energy, you kind of have to get used to how things are functioning now. The Nine of Diamonds, again, some kind of completion that ended up you having more resources to take financial responsibility. What did I just say? So you might be fighting this tendency to spend it in fun, extravagant ways when you really know that there's other things that need to be taken care of, such as paying off a credit card, paying off debt. You know, that's not glorious sounding to most of us. It's kind of boring. It's basically handing your money over and saying goodbye to it, but you owed that money, and now if you get yourself out of that hole, you won't have to make those payments anymore. And it can be gratifying on some level, but it's not as exciting as having a new car. But anyway, the Nine of Diamonds is about recognizing that completion, and we are looking at your cards of advice here. So I would say that's already an indication you need to take better responsibility. Now, the Eight of Spades talks about stress around work. Whatever is going on here with the promotion or the new job, it looks like it's a bit more stressful, and you're being asked to relieve that stress in some manner, or perhaps find ways to circumvent that before it becomes a problem. This can also indicate a problem with somebody at work, but we are talking about a new job opportunity or some kind of career opportunity. And I would just say that it's probably, in some ways, there's some kind of adjustment period going on, and that therefore that's causing stress, but it's also, I don't know, kind of giving you a heads up that you need to get this under control in some way, because it's causing too much stress that over time perhaps could be an even bigger problem. That's kind of what I'm picking up on that. Ace of Diamonds, Eight of Clubs. Ace of Diamonds is very much along that new start. It talks about desiring to increase your income, and I think it's well established you're there. Now the Eight of Clubs. Try to say that, Ace and Eight, really fast and interchangeably. The Eight of Clubs talks about being in a crossroads decision. I still see this as you kind of navigating this new lifestyle. Now, the Eight of Clubs also talks about being stuck on outcomes or ideas. So again, you might have like certain ideas about how things should be working out for you. And the decision may be, I don't know, I still see it wrapped up with this Three of Diamonds and just you having confusion around finance. So I kind of see that Eight of Clubs being wrapped up in this new start, and that perhaps you had a vision of things being one way, and like, oh, once I have this job, all of my problems will be solved, won't have any problem at all with money, etc., etc. And that's what you're stuck on. You see what I'm getting at? I'm trying to describe it the way I see it, but it's not so straightforward. It's a little bit. It's kind of a yin-yang situation. On the one hand, everything's very positive and good, and the money is flowing and the abundance is flowing. On the other hand, I'm getting this impression that there needs to be some caution around it. Haven't seen that card actually come out that blatantly says you need to watch the spending. But that to me would indicate with the Eight of Clubs that you had an idea about how things were going to work out, and the reality is perhaps something different. It could also mean that you're expecting bigger paychecks, and then after the taxes and everything, all the things were deducted, it wasn't as much as you thought. That happens a lot, right? The more we make, the more they take. Okay, more cards of advice. Ace of Club, Two of Hearts. So the Two of Hearts talks about desire for companionship, whereas the Ace of Clubs is again a new start, but it's about acquiring new skill or knowledge. Not sure if you need to sorry about that, it's choked for some reason. Learn some kind of new skill, some love language, for example, how to meet new people if you aren't already hooked up with somebody. That could indicate that, and there's a new start in love, but you definitely have that strong indication here that you're desiring that companionship. Now, the companionship I tend to see as romantic, but if it's not, and you are already in a relationship, this could be desiring someone to go on a journey with you to learn a new skill, and it could be in business. And it could be about finding, again, what I mentioned earlier with this Eight of Hearts. Meeting somebody significant who's on the same page with you could also be a business partner. So I kind of see it that way. Perhaps you're desiring to find that person that you can collaborate with and start that online business or some kind of side hustle. And perhaps what this achievement here is your main bread and butter, but you still have this desire to do your own things and work on your own projects. And that seems to be a new experience for you as well with the new start. Three of Spades, you're a little bit worried and stressed about something. It could be around the romantic indication with that Two of Hearts, that you're a little bit stressed about relationships, even though finance is going okay for you. I'm not sure. I'm going to ask for another card of advice. But there's some kind of stress and worry there. I mean, it could be tied up with this that also talked about stress around work. Let me get something to drink before I just choke to the end of the video. It seems to be an underlying theme nonetheless. Stress and worry, or needing to relieve stress. Only you would know how it fits your situation. Again, I want to remind you this is a general reading, and it may not pertain to your situation, so don't make it fit. Just come back and join me for the next video. The Four of Clubs. That doesn't seem any stress and worry about that, because that's balance and stability again in your home. Your lifestyle is not in jeopardy. You don't have to move. You're paying your bills. Your needs are being met. The stress and worry seems to be something private for you, Cancer. I'm not seeing it here. It may be obvious to you, and I'm just not nailing it at the moment. But again, I want to remind you there is some kind of stress around career or work. This is the work card. This is like working too many hours, being asked to do too many things beyond your capability. Hey Cancer, sorry about that. You had a small break in the video. I had to change my battery. But it's good news for you. That means I have done a very long reading for you today. So anyway, like I was saying, there seems to be an undercurrent of you being stressed and worried about something. I see things very well going for you financially, career-wise. It just may have to do with this Two of Hearts, and whatever that desire is for you to find that connection, that one-on-one. This is more about meeting one person who means something very significant to you, not necessarily meeting a group of people or entering into a situation. It's more about that personal relationship. And the new start in that direction that goes along with that. I just think you're kind of on, I'm hearing virgin ground. It's not a word I usually use. Virgin ground with this abundance, these resources, again, this finance that's very new to you, with the Jack of Diamonds, and over here, you having ideas of how life would change for you or how life would be. And I just think you're kind of still navigating through that. It's kind of a reality check, like, oh yeah, really glad I got this position, this promotion. However, I'm not going to say it's not cracked up to what you thought it would be. It's not worth it. I'm not saying that. It's just, now that the reality has sunken in, you're still adjusting to that. And let's not forget, you still have this about things being unsettled and up in the air. And that to me is just like someone going through an adjustment. You know, getting used to new circumstances. Perhaps how people relate to you in the workplace is different. You know, there's all those aspects. For example, when you get a promotion and you're in the same work environment. But you've achieved a lot here. And you are going to be able to take that financial responsibility. You're just a little bit on the fence about how to go about it. And that may have to do with this this new start. And perhaps that Two of Hearts is not so much about romance, but finding that person who can help navigate through this. I don't know if that means you need to find like a business partner or some kind of financial advisor. That would be kind of an odd card to desire a financial advisor, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe you want a confidant on that level. Perhaps you meet them by going to them for advice and they become a good friend, down the road. And they end up being in your life for a long time. I mean, anything's possible under the sun. I am going to leave it there. I hope this helped. I hope you gained some insight. Again, if you would like to see an extended reading for the next Cancer readings that come out, go ahead and hit the like. Don't forget to hit subscribe notifications to be notified when the next video comes out, or you can just come back and check on the channel and see what's going on with your sign. And if you would like to make a small donation to my virtual tip jar, it can be found in the bottom of the description box. There's a link there for Buy Me a Coffee. You just copy and paste that in your browser and it takes you right there. Okay? Thank you in advance if you can do that. Thank you again for joining me, and I will see you again soon.